Hey everyone. It seems like Social Security is always making headlines these days.
Yeah,
But it's tough to separate fact from fiction amidst all the noise.
right.
So we're diving into some reliable sources today
Yeah.
to break down what's actually happening with potential tax changes, staffing cuts at the Social Security Administration,
Yeah.
and updates on the Social Security Fairness Act.
It's a complex landscape for sure,
Absolutely.
and understanding the nuances is key.
Before we get started, if you are interested in staying up to date on critical topics like this, hit that subscribe button.
Good idea.
Now let's tackle these potential tax changes.
Okay.
I saw a headline claiming that Trump eliminated taxes on Social Security benefits, tips, and overtime. Is this the reality or clickbait?
Well, it's definitely more complicated than the headline suggests.
Okay.
While a House resolution did pass that opens the door for discussions about such tax cuts, it's crucial to remember this is just a starting point, not a done deal.
I see.
No concrete policy or bill is in place yet.
So it's more of a signal of intent rather than a guarantee.
Exactly.
Okay.
It reflects some of Trump's campaign promises,
Yeah.
especially the focus on eliminating taxes on tips,
Right.
which could have a significant impact on industries like restaurants and gig work.
I can see how that would appeal to those specific sectors.
Yeah,
But wouldn't eliminating these taxes have a ripple effect on the national debt?
that's a big question.
Okay.
Deficit hawks who advocate for fiscal responsibility
Right.
are already voicing concerns. Reducing tax revenue without corresponding spending cuts could add significantly to the national debt.
I see.
In fact, some estimates suggest that eliminating taxes on tips alone could increase the deficit by $100 to $500 billion over the next 10 years.
Wow. Those are some hefty numbers.
Yes, they are.
It seems like a delicate balancing act between stimulating the economy and maintaining fiscal responsibility.
It certainly is, and it raises the question.
What's that?
What do you think about the potential trade-offs here? Is the economic benefit worth the potential increase in the national debt?
Interesting.
Let us know your thoughts. And if you're finding this analysis helpful, give us a like.
It's a complex issue with a lot at stake.
For sure.
Now, alongside potential tax cuts,
Yeah.
there's talk of major staffing cuts at the Social Security Administration.
Right.
What's the story there?
There have been reports that the SSA is considering reducing its workforce by as much as 50% to cut costs.
With 50%.
That's a massive reduction.
It is.
What's the rationale behind such a drastic move?
Well, proponents argue that streamlining operations and implementing technological solutions could allow the SSA to maintain or even improve service levels with a smaller workforce.
Okay.
They believe efficiency is key.
But wouldn't such a significant cut inevitably lead to delays and backlogs? Especially for things like disability claims?
Yeah.
We already know there's a considerable backlog there.
You're hitting on a major concern.
Critics argue that while technology can be beneficial, human expertise is still crucial, particularly when dealing with complex cases.
Right.
A 50% reduction in staff could have severe consequences for the millions of Americans who rely on the SSA for essential services.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a situation where efficiency needs to be balanced with genuine support for those who need it most.
Right.
Speaking of support, let's shift gears to the Social Security Fairness Act.
Okay.
This seems like a positive development in the midst of all these potential changes.
Absolutely. The SSA is expediting the implementation of this act,
Okay.
which is designed to deliver some much-needed financial relief to millions of Americans.
Okay, break it down for us. Who exactly benefits from this act?
Sure.
And what kind of relief are we talking about?
Over 3.2 million individuals are eligible for benefits under this act.
Wow.
It provides both a one-time lump sum payment
Okay.
and an increase in monthly benefits.
So people are getting both.
These are retroactive payments going back to January 2024. So people are essentially receiving compensation for benefits they should have received earlier.
So a little catch-up bonus.
Yeah.
And then a boost to their regular checks.
Yeah.
What kind of amounts are we looking at here?
The lump sum payments are expected to be significant,
Okay.
potentially thousands of dollars for many individuals.
And what about the monthly increases?
The monthly benefit increases, which start in April,
Okay.
will vary based on individual circumstances, but some people could see their monthly checks rise by over $11,000.
$11,000 a month.
That's right.
That's a game changer for a lot of people.
For sure.
When can they expect to see these benefits?
The timeline is quite short, actually.
Oh, wow.
The lump sum payments are expected to be distributed by the end of March.
So very soon.
Yes, with some people already receiving them this month.
Oh, wow. So they're already going out.
Yeah, and then as I mentioned, the increased monthly benefits begin in April.
That's great news for those who qualify.
It is.
But I imagine not everyone is on board with this act.
You're right.
What are some of the arguments against it?
Some critics argue that the Social Security Fairness Act was unnecessary, especially given the looming issue of the Social Security Trust Fund's projected insolvency within the next decade.
Yes, the elephant in the room.
Exactly.
Does this act simply delay the inevitable? Or does it address some of the underlying issues with Social Security?
That's the heart of the debate.
Okay.
The act is designed to rectify past inequities
Okay.
and provide immediate relief, but it doesn't solve the long-term funding challenges that Social Security faces.
So it's kind of like putting a Band-Aid on a deeper wound.
Yeah, a good analogy.
So how do these potential tax cuts and staffing reductions we discussed earlier tie into this bigger picture of Social Security's financial future?
That's where things get really interesting. Each of these elements, tax cuts, staffing cuts, and the Social Security Fairness Act impacts the delicate balance of Social Security's funding. Reducing revenue through tax cuts while simultaneously increasing expenses through benefit increases, like those in the Fairness Act, could further strain an already stressed system.
And on the other side, if staffing cuts lead to inefficiencies and errors, it could end up costing more in the long run, right?
Exactly. It's a complex web of interconnected factors.
Yeah.
And any decisions made in one area will undoubtedly have repercussions across the entire system.
So what's the bottom line for our listeners?
Okay.
What should they be focusing on as they try to make sense of all this?
The key takeaway is that we're in a period of uncertainty. We need to pay close attention to how these various pieces of the puzzle fit together.
Okay.
The potential tax cuts, the proposed staffing reductions, and the implementation of the Social Security Fairness Act.
It feels like we're at a crossroads with a lot of big decisions on the horizon that could have a major impact on Social Security's future.
Yeah, it does feel that way.
What are some key things we should be watching for in the coming weeks and months?
Definitely keep an eye on any developments regarding that House resolution on tax cuts.
Okay.
Will it gain momentum and move towards becoming actual legislation?
Right.
Or will it face significant pushback and potentially stall out?
Good move.
Those are crucial questions. And of course, any decisions about staffing at the Social Security Administration will have a direct impact on how effectively the agency functions and serves the public.
And considering the potential impact on those awaiting disability decisions, those staffing decisions carry a lot of weight.
Exactly. It's essential to think about the real-world consequences of these policy decisions.
For sure.
As we get more concrete information, I encourage you to consider how these potential changes could affect you personally and those around you.
And how they fit into the broader narrative of Social Security's long-term sustainability.
Right.
Speaking of sustainability, we can't ignore the fact that the Social Security Trust Fund is projected to be depleted within the next decade.
Yeah, that's true.
How does that reality factor into all these discussions?
That's the looming challenge that hams over everything we've discussed.
Yeah, it's a big one.
The choices made today will directly impact the program's ability to meet its obligations in the years to come.
Okay.
Will these proposed changes strengthen Social Security's financial footing or exacerbate its existing challenges?
Right.
That's the critical question.
That's a pretty sobering thought. If you are enjoying this breakdown of such a crucial topic, make sure you give us a like and don't forget to subscribe to stay informed about future discussions.
It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but understanding the different facets is the first step towards informed engagement.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This has been a fascinating look into the current state of Social Security.
It has.
And it's clear that there are many moving parts and potential challenges ahead.
Many moving parts, for sure.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. And as always, we'll continue to follow this story and bring you updates as new information emerges. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button if you found this analysis helpful.
Stay curious and keep asking questions. That's how we navigate these complex issues together.